good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're at. Today we're going into it. We're going to be checking out the new information that's coming out with these riots. As soon as I get my video capture up, because for some reason it's not showing up. That'll work. Where do we want to put that? We'll shrink it down too. How about that? That'll be nice. There we go. Anyway, as you can see, LA's still under siege. We still have rioters going crazy. We still have people doing all the unnecessary stuff, but we have news. The National Guard has been deployed. Marines from Camp Pendleton allegedly joining the fray. And even better, what the society really needed right now, what these protesters really needed on their side, we have streamers like Denos, we have Hasan, we have all these people joining the fray, even calling for other streamers to join the fray. So let's see what's going on. Let's try to get to the bottom of this. Let's see what's going on in the newsy news. Of course, we start all our journeys on X just to see what the new update is. Oh, that's great. Tectone apparently got offered Twitch Partner Program. Congratulations, Tectone. I don't know if you're going to accept it, but I wonder why they offered him that the day he got unbanned. Oh, God. This guy.
Why wear a mask? Please enlighten us. Oh, my God. Fucking blue check marks on Twitter. There's some of the dumbest people on the planet.
You're a blue check mark on Twitter.
Like, why am I wearing a mask? Because they're deploying tear gas, man. Do you think...
What a retard. Yeah, I hate to break to you, little guy, but that little do-rag on your face, that's not going to stop tear gas.
I think I'm wearing a mask to hide my identity. I'm 6'4". I'm wearing my own merchandise.
Oh.
Why wear a mask? Please enlighten us. Oh, my God.
Yeah, no, that's not how tear gas works, dumbass. That's funny. I like that. I like that a lot. Oh, and neither do these little these are painters masks. They won't work for tear gas either. Don't let them trick you. If you're riding and you think you're safe because you got this little piece of crap, tear gas is called that because it is an irritant to the nasal passageway and also to skin and eyes. So yeah, you can wear this all you want, thinking it's still going to get in there, but it's still going to get in your eyes and on your skin. So yes, that's absolutely retarded. Oh yeah, there he is, blue check mark. So I guess by his own definition, he's the biggest retards available. Damn, 140. Oh. No, sir, I was born here. This guy should not have gone to this protest. That was a extremely bad idea.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Let's check this out.
No good spot. Yeah, the best spot to shoot somebody at is not shooting them. But if you would, I mean, that's it. Shooting legs is hard. Yeah, it definitely is. And
shooting in the legs is a terrible idea. Shooting anyone is a terrible idea. But people who say police officers should shoot for the legs, maybe you should see how many arteries, blood vessels, and stuff are in the legs. One of the major ones. Each of your hips. You hit that and it's over. Good luck stopping that bleeding.
yeah, no, I as I said again, I totally think lethal force is completely okay. I'm totally justified in it, or I think they're totally justified in it. So yeah, but anyway, no good.
Clearly, this is taken out of context. I'm sure if he's saying what I can only go off by what he says in the post, throwing things at them, bricks, etc. Yes, throwing bricks at people, hitting people with rocks is potential deadly force. That, given the force continuum, the use of force continuum that police, military, and law enforcement all operate off of, yeah, that would be sufficient for them to use deadly force. Now, granted, in today's political climate, they would absolutely be under investigation for it, but still, it is 100% reasonable. If someone's throwing a fucking cinder block at your face, just smoke that fool. Oh, Harry Sisson. President drilled Donald Trump last week. They went too far. Are you back defending someone who said you said is on the Epstein files? That's a good point, Harry. Finally,
You're probably tired of seeing my face by now, but I promise this message is going to be a little bit different than the previous ones. So I've got a lot of questions.
I'm not interested. Oh, Jesus.
In our communities, they're traumatizing our communities. And that seems to be the entire point. Donald Trump.
Yes, you're right. The police and law enforcement are traumatizing the community, gas.
Trump's government
You're
isn't
100%
protecting
right.
our communities.
Definitely not trying to quell a riot where cars are on fire, people are getting hit with cinder blocks, people are getting pepper sprayed, blocking traffic, staying on the 101 freeway. Yeah, you're right. The
They're
police
traumatizing our communities.
traumatizing you. That's true. Oh, he keeps showing up on my feed, dude. I need you to chill with that.
Can't live here.
Oh, who is this? That's a nice beard. That's a nice beard. I like his glasses too. He's a very handsome young man.
I just think it's hilarious because who the fuck are you to tell somebody
I'm the headless Norseman.
else that they can't live here? Who
Haven't
the
done that.
fuck, because you were born here? Obviously you never learned how to check your privilege because you're lucky that you were born in a country like this.
Oh.
And other people just want to come here and live a prosperous life.
Oh.
And they're not all criminals and nasty bad people. Who the fuck are you?
So, people who are citizens of this country aren't allowed to enforce and advocate for the country's sovereignty. We're not allowed to advocate for people coming here and not following our rules. We're just supposed to let people come to our country and just break whatever rules they see fit as long as they're morally justifiable by your scale? No, sir. That is completely nonsense. Who the fuck are you to tell everybody that, oh, because you think we're privileged, we also don't have a right to our own sovereignty? That's completely ridiculous and nonsensical.
That's kind of what it feels like.
Oh, God.
In and of itself, that's kind of what it feels like.
Okay, all right.
If that makes sense.
I just think I mean, listen, is it not kind of comical that he's been given this commentary about like, oh yeah, that's standard issue weaponry.
What is standard issue weaponry for the LAPD? I highly doubt he knows it.
That's usually a surefire sign that things are about to pop off, and he's been doing that for like an hour. And so far, it seems like the police are.
Wait, did he just get is he wearing a fucking press vest? Is he caught? Did he get a fucking fake plate carrier and wearing a press vest? I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to own body armor as a citizen in California. Let me double check that. Well, that was easy. In California, it's generally legal for adults to purchase. I'm wrong. You can't have body armor. My
an
bad.
hour,
I
and so
apologize.
far, it seems like the police are showing restraint. Like they're not advancing. They issued a dispersal order, and they haven't advanced.
Yeah, how many times is this guy going to go out? Is this the second day, or is this all in one day that he went out to the protests, stood in the very backs of all the protests where none of the action was happening, and criticized the police and encouraged his fans to show up? This man showing up to the protest encouraged, I have no idea how many people, but I'm sure it encouraged a few to go join the fray, to jump into the madness, just in the sole chance of seeing their favorite 6'4", bearded, lusciously haired, glasses wearing Hasan, their hero, their martyr, while he's out there bravely standing in the farthest back and safest part of the protest to criticize and giggle about flashbangs going off and messing up his luscious locks. Ooh. Yeah, don't touch their horses. Yeah, don't touch their horses. I wouldn't do that. That's a bad idea. Yeah, those were some serious hits. Let's go back, see if we can see what this guy was trying to do. Oh yeah, you don't grab the reins. You damn sure don't grab the reins. He just punched that horse. Yeah, you don't attack the police, law enforcement. You don't touch their animals. They don't like that. This guy's lucky that he didn't just get kicked by a hoof. If that horse would have jumped up and bopped his ass, trust me, he would not be with us now. Oh, that's a female officer too. She is not playing around. We're all about equality here And she knows how to throw down. I would say this is lawful protest. I would say this is peaceful protest. This I have no problem with. This is not an issue. Well, good morning, Havoc. How you doing, buddy? Just scrolling through before I first thing I see is people in LA going crazy. Yeah, I got a couple hours before I'm supposed to go to a dentist appointment, so I'm doing this for now.
100 men versus one gorilla, but I bet you've never seen 39 million Californians. You've seen 100 men versus one gorilla, but I bet you've never seen 39 million Californians against Donald Trump's National Guard before. You've seen 100.
Well, no, but we're fucking about to. This man's a golden retriever. I don't want to see that. Let's see if there's been an update. Let's go back to the top, tippy top. Hit a little refresh button, see what we find. Oh, it has begun. Oh, yeah. They're really fighting for rights, aren't they? These people are really out there trying to... Of course you exist, Havoc. You are very important to me. You're extremely important to me. Yeah, these people are really down there. Clearly, look at all this social justice they're committing. They're out here really fighting for the rights of these illegal immigrants to live in this state. Really showing it to the National Guard. Look at this peaceful protest. Look at all this peace. We're really drowning in that shit. That is true. It's almost like we have a document that you can read that says what your rights are. Like if we had a bill of some kind of rights, you know? Something like that.
The National Guard. So have you guys heard what Governor Newsom just did? He literally is suing the President of the United States for deploying the National Guard to protect his state and his city. Can you imagine this? Because he's trying to do something that the governor's not willing to do, and that's by restoring law and order. Now keep in mind, the chief of police of LA has already said that he's overwhelmed and he needs help. Governor Newsom wasn't responding, so the president did. People act like this is something new. It's not new. President Eisenhower did this in 57 and employed the 101st Airborne. JFK did this in 62 and 63, and LBJ did this in 65. So this isn't anything new.
It's okay, I
The
typo
governor
all the
is
time.
refusing to act and protect its citizens. When a mayor of his town is refusing to act, the president has the authority to do just exactly what President Trump is doing.
And that's exactly what's happened. The mayor waited 4 days before enacting a curfew. Gavin Newsom tried to fight the National Guard coming in to secure the city and secure the scene. The police have been saying they were overwhelmed since day one. But yet, Donald Trump's the bad guy for doing his job. It's the president's job to protect the United States of America. One of his many jobs, in fact. But yeah, let's sue him for doing what he's legally required to do.
Keep in mind, President campaigned on, and he's been leading on.
Oh, what? Emery? Of course you did it in cosplay. Good for you, girl. How much you want to bet she just throws like a 98th mile zinger? How crazy would that be? Oh, I'm not 100% a Trump fan either. I did vote for him because I wasn't going to vote for Kamala because I grew up in California and I know the evil she perpetrated by putting parents in jail and for leaving people in jail beyond their sentence and refusing to give out evidence when she was a prosecutor that would have exonerated many black, Mexican, and white men. She let a lot of people in jail for that. So that's why I didn't vote for her. I would not vote for her because I had seen the repercussions of her evil. I am not 100% a Trump loyalist, but he is my president, and I will support whoever is in charge. To not do so is nihilism, almost. It's just... Get out of here, bot. What do you think? You think she's going to throw like a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, or is she going to miss entirely? I think she's going to throw a straight zinger. That's exactly what I said. Fastball, 98 miles an hour. Oh, God, these two. Oh, God, these two. Rattlesnake TV and Andrew from the Crucible. Oh, these dudes make me laugh. I'm going to lose it if I watch this. I know they're going to comment on her size.
They know how quickly we mobilize.
She threw in a keyword. She said we. She said how quickly we mobilize. Now,
I have nothing wrong with larger people. My mom is a larger person. You just spammed that twice. Get out of here.
I think there would be people who would be able to quickly mobilize, but whether
I don't think she's going to quickly mobilize.
Unless there was like free donuts or free Nutella sandwiches on display, she'd mobilize quickly.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
They know how quickly we mobilize. That's why
they know how quickly we mobilize.
Changing tactics. Because community defense works and our resistance has slowed them down before. And if they're escalating their tactics, then so are we. When they show up, we gotta show up even stronger.
So she's a mobilizer.
Oh god. Oh.
Pawns for Donald Trump's agenda. We are not pawns for Donald Trump's agenda. Why now? It's because the military was called upon innocent protesters. We, in our oath to serve, we serve the people of the United States. The Constitution, these constitutional rights are being stripped and just denied, and the military will not be pawns to that. So I'm calling upon the conscience of military members who served previously and now. We have a conscience, we have mind, and we have a duty and moral obligation to say no and resist evil. We are not...
Well, I don't know if this person's still active duty. She may be. If she's wearing her uniform, it looks up to date. I'm not sure. I wasn't in the Army. I was in the Navy. I can't comment on this, but I know if I was active duty military and I would have done something like this, yeah, I would have had a lot of things happen. I probably would have ended up at least at NJP, maybe even court-martial. She's risking a lot here. The only way she wouldn't be is if she was actually sanctioned to do this. The military does have its own news people. It does have its own journalism wing. It does have all this stuff. So she could be part of that. I don't know. But I highly doubt it. This person is probably retired recently or probably left the military recently and is just wearing their uniform, which is their right. You can do that after you're out. You can do that. You're allowed to maintain it. It's your uniform. You paid for it. You can wear it. But if this person is active duty, I sincerely hope that they are a journalist. I swear to God, if you spam this one more time, oh, she is misquoting. She is misquoting. I'm sorry, Havoc. I thought it was that dude spamming again. But yeah, military people have a right to the First Amendment, but we are required to leave it separate from our military persona. We are not allowed. If we have in our bio active duty service member or active duty Navy, that makes us a representation of the armed forces, and we are not allowed to post stuff like this. That's why when I was in, I did not have that in my bio, because I like to post hilarious memes and terrible things that make people laugh because I have dark humor. But yeah, it's absolutely her right to do this, and it's the risk she's taken. So good on her for making her voice heard. I don't agree with her. Yeah, that's true. It's a contract we sign. You do sign a contract when you join the military that you are relinquishing certain rights. Key of which is rights to some of your own sovereignty, your ability to decide where and when you go somewhere. Because you are now, for all intents and purposes, property of the U.S. military. Nothing to see here. Just cops smashing their own windshields. Move along. This should be interesting. This is completely taken out of context. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to remove the windshield because obviously it's shattered so that they can drive that cruiser out of there. Because it's not like they can just call that, what's that damn windshield company? Plexiglass. whatever the hell you got, just to come up and change the windshield. No, they got to take this shop. They call it a shop. They got to take it back to the motorcade to get fixed. So yeah, if the windshield is smashed and it looks like somebody was standing on it, that's why he's using his billy club to break the windshield out so that they can safely drive it back. So this person's clearly just taking this entire incident out of context. That's why he's doing it. Look at this. They're all look at the shape they're making. They're hitting the edges, trying to make it to where they can see. See if we can see them get the windshield off. Yep, see, they're intentionally trying to take the windshield off. That's true. And there's Fat Electrician coming in and telling the truth. Can I follow this guy? Yeah, I'm already following him. Perfect. I love the Fat Electrician. If you haven't seen the Fat Electrician, you should definitely check out his history stuff. His military history is amazing.
They're telling her to move, but that's a public sidewalk.
Anyone who didn't see the title, LAPD shoots U.S. woman with a rubber bullet. How did you determine her citizenship? But okay. Trying to get into her home while they're blocking. How did you find her motives? Are you so far away you can't even hear her? What is this? He's clearly, if you listen, he's clearly saying that way. Go that way. He warned her once. That's a second warning.
They're telling her to move, but
she's
that's
still
a public
moving.
sidewalk.
That's a third warning. Fourth warning.
They're telling her to move. Watch.
Fifth warning.
If they shoot her.
6 warnings, and then get shot by a rubber bullet. What do you mean it's fucked up? They're securing your perimeter. They warned her, by my count, 6 times to fuck off. He told her as she was walking up to go that way, to go around. Clearly they're securing a scene and they're trying to keep a protest separate. At this point, they don't know who's who. They don't know what each person's trying to do. They have to corral and disperse. And if they don't want you going that way, that's well within their police officer's jurisdiction to shut down a certain block, to shut down certain streets. That includes the sidewalk.
Holy fuck.
Just so you know, if I was fighting a fire on the ship, you think I would just let people walk through the passageways as I was fighting a casualty? No! So yes, I know what it means to secure a scene. I used to hold security. I used to be on our BBSS team, for those who don't know. That's Visit Board Search and Seizure. And when we took over a craft, guess what we would do? Secure the scene. Do you think we would let any of the other fishermen boats come nearby? Hell no. We would secure the scene, much like these police officers are do.
Other side. We're moving, assholes! Oh, you got it. Hang on. I just need to get out of their sight.
Yeah, well, people don't want to understand. Nuance is the enemy of narrative. Jesus Christ, there's a lot of noise going on right there.
You can hear me? Expect my ass in your office on Monday for talking about children! This is our city! And this was Mexico!
There's no plates in that plate carrier. That plate carrier she's wearing on her chest is completely empty.
You can't get
This person is cosplaying as a rebel.
this out of the land that was ours!
That's a child's vest, too. That's for paintball. It doesn't even fit her properly.
If you can hear me, expect my ass in your office on Monday for talking.
I wouldn't want you in my office. You probably smell like fucking hamburgers. Anyway, let's move on. That's enough doom scrolling. Let's check out some YouTube videos. There's one I want to check out. It's called "You've Been Lied To." The California Sheriff.
Let's get right.
I'm pretty sure this isn't the California Sheriff. As far as I know, there's no... I'm not repeating that. That's hilarious, but I'm not repeating that.
Brooke Sigmund with the very latest on the Los Angeles riots and what took place overnight. Hi, Brooke.
Hey guys, that's right. So some of the 700 Marines in Los Angeles are expected to be deployed today to protect ICE agents, with thousands of National Guard troops waiting in the wings. So the LAPD says dozens of protesters were arrested for refusing to follow the curfew.
Sorry, I'm just looking at their gas mask filters. Yeah, they're using those filters for tear gas.
Put in place by Mayor Karen Bass, who says it will likely last for several days. In California,
looks like they got the M50s on.
Governor Gavin Newsom is now vowing days.
No, those are the MCU2 Papas.
California Governor Gavin Newsom is now vowing consequences for violent protesters while still managing.
Yeah, those have NATO thread. Anyone who doesn't know, a lot of the NATO forces use the same threads and the same ammo and stuff, so they're interchangeable for forces. Those look like MCU2 Papa C2 canisters.
Managing to throw digs at President Trump for even sending in the troops.
Not that I want to give information out to people on how to protest or how to riot. If you see people with just face masks, face shields on, there's a pretty good chance they're not going to use tear gas unless they're absolutely forced to. But if you see troops come out, if you see police come out with a gas mask on, yeah, they're about to gas you. They're about to turn that whole area into a fog party, and you should go.
President Trump for even sending in the troops.
People will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. He again chose escalation. He chose more force.
Yeah, that's so much better than choosing to do nothing.
He chose theatrics over public safety. We honor their service. We honor their bravery. But we do not want our streets militarized by our own armed forces.
Newsom claims President Trump never called him when the protests broke out, but the president is bringing in the receipts, providing a screenshot to Fox News.
Oh. So Gavin Newsom on June 7th was called twice by President Trump, and one call lasted a whole 16 minutes.
Of a 16-minute phone call between him and Newsom on Saturday. And President Trump...
Yeah, most of these canisters are activated charcoal. That's what they are. You can make a homemade gas mask with activated charcoal. There's actually a pretty nifty book on it you can get at Barnes and Nobles. I don't remember the name of it right now, but it shows you how to do a lot of stuff. Survivalist. It's a survivalist book. It's like $19. It's not bad. But the only problem with the only problem with tear gas is it's not just something that gets in your lungs. That's where it does most of its work. But if it's also an irritant, a skin and eye irritant, and that's where it'll also. That's why it's called tear gas.
Trump is not backing down on his efforts.
So when I see people wearing a Harbor Freight mask with fucking paint canisters, that's not going to do anything. That's not going to stop it.
To stop these violent riots, he issued a stark message to any protesters who burn an American flag. Listen.
These are animals, but they proudly carry the...
Dude, look at that fucking unit to the left of Trump. You see that big guy? Let me move the chat. Him right there. Jesus, that dude is massive. Oh, man, I wouldn't want to be on the street with that guy coming at me. Hell no.
Flags of other countries, but they don't carry the American flag. They only burn it. People that burn the American flag should go to jail for 1 year. That's what they should be doing.
Nice. Yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. If you burn the American flag, you should go to jail for 1 year. That's a nice little sentiment, but that is part of free speech. That is part of doing that. If you own a flag and it's your property, let me be very clear. If it's your property and you bought it, yeah, you can burn it. Go right ahead. But if you burnt someone else's property or a flag on a government building, that is different. That is vandalism. And depending on the context of you doing it, it could be expanded into the territory of terrorism. So, if you own it, perfectly okay with me. Perfectly legal for you to burn it. Alright? Perfectly fine with me. But if you're burning other people's property, or you're burning government property, then that's when you step into the realm of illegality.
1 year. And we'll see if we can get that done.
You won't be able to. There's no way that'll ever pass.
Major cities like
Nor
Seattle
should it.
and Chicago are also facing similar
Oh, it's spreading.
ICE protests, and in New York City, police arrested more than 80 protesters. And with reports that these protests could continue to spread, Texas Governor Greg Abbott isn't taking any chances. He's deploying the National Guard to San Antonio. Guys, all right.
If you're wondering why San Antonio, in Texas, San Antonio is the bluest county and one of the largest counties, and it's also the most dense population of, I'm not trying to be rude here, I'm not trying to be a left or a right winger, but this is the highest population of Democrats. And they seem to be the ones who are the most pissed off.
Right, Brooke Sangamon live for us in Washington. Brooke, thank you. Let's bring in California gubernatorial candidate and Riverside County Sheriff.
Oh, I'm voting for this guy. This guy was the sheriff of Riverside. If you don't know much about California, Riverside is a big area, and it's a dangerous area.
Chad Bianco. Sheriff, good morning to you. As a member of law enforcement and someone who's running for governor, you could talk about this from just about every angle. But first, from the law enforcement perspective, do you think, and do members of law enforcement that are battling these riots on the ground, police officers, the LAPD, do they think that the presence of the National Guard and the Marines is helpful in this situation?
Yeah, it's definitely helpful because what it does is it enables them to protect buildings and property while we can address the issues that are going on with the rioters. When we are spread too thin, when we have to protect.
I'm sorry, I'm just stopping to look at their kit right now. So I've seen a lot of these tear gas launchers. I hope that's not too loud. I hope I wasn't screaming in your ears. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of these tear gas launchers. I'm not seeing a lot of guns with rubber bullets in them.
Buildings that may not be under attack by a protester or something like that.
If they give the Marines rubber bullets, y'all better run. I'm just saying, if they give them rubber bullets and guns to use them with, y'all better dip. Because those guys are going to just start pretending it's paintball.
Then we really don't have all of our resources to be able to be directed toward the ones that are actually committing the violence. So with that being done, we can direct all of our attention to criminals.
Now, there's a lot of noise surrounding this story. I think it's a pretty simple story. The fact remains that this thing was spiraling into chaos before Trump sent in the National Guard.
Okay, so looks like they got a mix between lethal and
now it is
non-lethal.
stabilized. Is there any other way of viewing this, Sheriff?
No, there isn't. We've been lied to from the very beginning. The politicians, California politicians, the mayor of Los Angeles, our governor, have completely failed in that nothing was happening in the beginning. It was allowed to spiral out of control, and then they have created this narrative that completely defies facts and a timeline that we know happened. And they keep calling it a peaceful protest, mostly peaceful, whatever they want to call it. But the reality is that law enforcement officers are being attacked, property is being destroyed, and it is out of control violence that really they're trying to deny.
Dude, look at that. Look at this guy on the left. Look how big that motherfucker is.
For political gain.
Yeah, and Sheriff, I asked that first question on if it's helpful to
Imagine
have
that
the
guy
National
coming
Guard
after
and the
you.
Marines on the ground, because Gavin Newsom has gone to the courts and tried to get them to no longer be able to be deployed. How do you feel about that if you say that their presence of them is helpful?
It's nothing but childish games. Our governor would rather fight and argue with the president than do something about Los Angeles. And the reality is that the National Guard, they could have been.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I appreciate police. I appreciate law enforcement. I appreciate first responders, and I respect them. But every time I get pulled over, I shut the fuck up. I don't answer questions. I give them my ID. I give them my driver's license. Any interaction I have with a police officer, I am completely quiet. I am cooperative, but I don't ask any questions I'm not given. I don't do any of that. I do the very minimalist amount to make sure that I do not endanger myself into being arrested. Well, no one likes being told they're wrong. People say police have a chip on their shoulder. Well, they do, because they see the worst of society, and I know that. So I try my best to streamline the process and interaction I have with them. I don't have a lot of interactions with police. It's usually because I'm speeding on my motorcycle or something like that. But I respect them, I appreciate them, and I understand how hard their job is. They deal with I don't know. That police officer could have just had to come from a scene where they just saw a baby get cut in half. When they see something traumatic or something and their uniform gets covered in blood, they don't get to go home. They get to go back to the locker room, take a shower, change uniform, and get back on shift. They could have just got done getting shot at for all we know. That doesn't give them carte blanche to act like assholes. It doesn't. In fact, they're forced to not do that. They have to leave their personal politics and their personal feelings to the side. A lot of people don't want that nuance. That's true. I understand that. And I agree with that. I agree with you, Havoc. I agree that our rights should not be tarnished. But there's got to be some give and take when it comes to policing from both sides.
Deployed immediately, because time and time again we see that these spiral for 1, 2, 3 days in a row, and then you're behind the 8 ball trying to catch up. When you do it in the beginning with an overwhelming show of force, these criminals that are coming out just to destroy, they don't show up because they know there's going to be a consequence. But this is 20 years in the making of Governor Gavin Newsom's policies that have enabled criminals to do this in the first.
For anyone who doesn't know what that means, when they put the flag upside down, it means America's in distress. It's very popular amongst people who want to send a message and do that. That's what that means.
To do this in the first place. This is just natural for us.
To follow up on something you just said about how you would respond, admittedly, Los Angeles, much bigger than Riverside, the main city in your county. But if these...
Okay, question here. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing?
The main city in your county.
Looks like someone's shooting, I believe that's Roman candles. I believe there's fireworks.
These riots had erupted in Riverside or in Palm Springs, Palm Desert, or someplace like that. What would you have done to stop them? And if ultimately it
looks like they're using pepper ball rounds. I think that's what that is. Yeah, pepper ball rounds, and they got a couple of actual, maybe rubber bullets, maybe lethals. I have no idea. Usually rubber bullet weapons have some kind of tape or distinguishing paint on them. I just can't see right now. But these people, they're not trying to arrest these guys. They're trying to get them to fuck off, it looks like, because they're just peppering them right now, literally, with the pepper rounds.
Stop them, and if ultimately it got out of control, would you have welcomed help from the Trump administration with open arms?
They want to say that police aren't allowed to arrest people. Police aren't allowed. This is a peaceful protest, yet people are throwing fucking fireworks at cops. I'm pretty sure if I looked at the side of these fireworks, it probably says, don't throw this at people. Or don't hold it in your hand. But yeah, you're right. It's okay. Let's just
absolutely.
Throw these at cops.
And the thing is in 2020 it did happen. The same thing that happened in Los Angeles spilled into Riverside, and we handled it completely different than them. We handled it with an overwhelming show of force where we ended what they were doing immediately, and it disappeared. And what happened was the rest of law enforcement said, oh, look what they did. It worked. And so Los Angeles followed suit, and they were able to stop theirs within 2 days after ours. So there's already a playbook. You do not allow them to escalate and then bring more reinforcements into the criminal behavior. It's nothing but criminals that are enabled to do criminal behavior, and if they're allowed, they will continue and they will get bigger in numbers. If you stop it in the beginning, then it goes away. That's how things should be done. Any cop on the street will tell you exactly how they can make it end. But somehow, as you rise up through the leadership ranks, they can't make those decisions at the top because politics get involved. The mayor gets involved. The governor gets involved.
Yeah, well, arrests last night ramped up because now there's a curfew in place. Why it took 5 days to implement that curfew is a question that I'm sure.
Oh, I was mistaken earlier. It wasn't 4 days. She did it in 5 days, so she's even more inept at her job.
Be asked today. And also, Sheriff, there are a lot of people who are being impacted by these riots. We saw it in 2020, and now we're seeing it again. There is one jewelry store owner who's a migrant himself who said that his business was completely destroyed. Other stores are getting looted in this area. So talk to us a little bit about that and the human impact of what's going on.
Well, that's the nuance that guys like Hasan, piker, ladies like Denims, and all these other far left activists won't talk about. They won't talk about the damage done to the people they're saying they want to protect. They won't talk about the small business owner or the family-owned restaurant or any of these things, or the innocent people being attacked on the street. They'll only talk about the police and their overreach and all this stuff. They'll virtue signal, and they'll put a very shallow depth of nuance into what's going on, just enough to hook you on and pull you into their narrative. Now, because this kind of stuff, business owners losing their livelihood, people getting robbed, people getting beaten, it's not good. It's not politically convenient for them. So they'll just put on blinders and pretend it never happens.
Going on.
It's huge. Downtown Los Angeles is an enormous magnet for business all day long. And I mean, you know what our freeway.
Let me be clear. I do not consider these people doing this. I do not consider these people doing this part of the riot. I do not consider these people part of the protest. These are rioters and looters. They are two separate groups of people. But unfortunately, this is the group with the highest visibility. And once your protest turns violent, these people will show up. Like moths to a flame, they show up because now you have presented them the opportunity. You created enough chaos for them to go in and get all the shit they want. These are not productive members of society. And this poisons your message. This is what mom and dad, this is what grandma and grandpa sitting at home in East Texas. This is what people sitting at home in Oklahoma. This is what fucking 90-year-old Gertrude seeing on her freaking black and white television like, oh my God. And then they go out and vote, and they vote red no matter what because of this. And then you guys complain, you're like, America's so racist. Well, it's because this is what's on TV. This is what the left keeps doing. This is a leftist utopia. This is Los Angeles, California, the bluest of the blue. So, of course, this is going to radicalize people to sprint to the right side. And you wonder why. And then you get people, again, the same streamers, the same ones saying, America's racist, bro. You don't understand. You don't understand. And they won't explain it to us. Because if you ask them to explain it, they run out of gas. And then they just start the personal insults, ad hominem attacks on your virtue and on your character.
Freeways are just really an app.
And then people say also, oh, I'm not part of the rioters. I'm not part of the looters. Why am I being arrested? Because there is so much rioting and looting going on. The police don't have time. Do you expect the police officers, do you think they're fucking Inspector Gadget or RoboCop, that they can just pull up a fucking database right there and just scan who you are? Yeah, you're right. It is the rich versus poor. It is the rich versus poor because the rich aren't the one going out here doing this. Notice as soon as the sun went down, all the streamers left. All the streamers, Hasan, Piker, and Denims, they got the fuck out of there as soon as the sun went down, didn't they? That's weird. Why aren't they there? Why did they stay on the edge of the protest instead of going into the epicenter? That's weird.
Absolute mess on a good day. So when you bring thousands of protesters in to block freeways, to stop freeways, that impacts everyone's day. Where businesses are closing, businesses have to close, people can't make it to work. It's a major impact for all of Los Angeles.
Yeah, all this does is piss off the normal people. All this does, sitting on the freeway, look at all this traffic. These people are just trying to go about through. Some of these people are trying to take the kids, or trying to go to the doctor's office, or trying to go see their kids play baseball, or trying to pick their kid up from school. You're standing in the way of a sovereign citizen and their child. What do you think that's going to do? Do you think that's going to put them on your side? What if there's children in these cars and they see you guys acting crazy? You're scaring these little kids, and that little kid is going to remember that for the rest of their life, how terrified they were when they were surrounded by these angry protesters. You guys are making more enemies than friends right now.
I don't think people maybe in a different part of the country understand when you shut down the 101, you shut down basically the entire Southland, because the 101, to your point, Sheriff, on a good day, the 101 is a disaster.
Does this look flattering to anybody? Does this look like these people are painted in a good light at all?
And so thank you for making that point. Sheriff Chad Bianco, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Chad Bianco. That's true. Thank you, Throb Goblin. That's a good name. I love that name. All right, that's Chad Bianco. Oh, God. Tectone.
It's a day that ends with Y, which means that Hasan has most likely done some and yeah, we've broken records for how stupid this motherfucker is with, once again, no punishment, even though I got banned for 2 weeks for calling someone fat and calling an OnlyFans girl a whore. I know. Yep, insane. So let's see what our best friend Hamas, Diddy, Osama bin Laden, Adolf Epstein, Baby Oil Piker has done this time.
Welcome back to the biggest clown show on YouTube. In today's video, Hasan has joined.
Again, he's wearing this mask. He's literally out here trying to sell his merch. That's this. I'm pretty sure this is all from his merch store. He said it earlier. He's got his hair all oiled up. He's got his suntan lotion on. He's got his cameraman going. And look where he's at. That's actually the 101 freeway. I know exactly where that's at. He's right atop the 101 freeway.
Joined the riots in LA, California.
Well, they're not.
If you're just tuning in and wondering how I know, that's because I live in Southern California.
Riots, okay? They're peaceful protests. Sure.
Yeah, they're just peaceful protests with a smidgen of looting, a smidgen of violence, and every electric vehicle being lit on fire.
Or there might be some burning of cars and destruction of property, sneaking into government, millions of dollars of property damage done, but it was peacefully done. You don't get it.
And is supporting terrorism again. Absolutely
What a shock.
Nobody is surprised. He's also called out Asmongold to join him on the streets. Asmongold responded saying that he should probably be arrested. They also have a bunch of back and forth.
I guarantee you they couldn't. I guarantee you there's quite a few people who couldn't quote their rights. I guarantee you there's people who have no idea how many rights are actually in the Bill of Rights.
Look at a bunch of idiotic Hasan.
Wait a second. Was that Taylor Lorens?
Of back and forth. We're gonna look at a.
Yep, there she is. That's 80-year-old Taylor Lorens. That is an elderly woman, everybody. This is an elderly woman who likes to dox people, like, just to get them to shut up. This is people who like to do that kind of terrible things. She's the world's most obscene and awful reporter. She's a nice lady. I don't hate her at all.
A bunch of idiotic Hasan clips and also take a deeper look into what's going on in LA. So basically some quick context if you didn't know. There's a situation in Los Angeles.
Okay, to be fair, that's how Los Angeles looks all the time. Besides the cop and stuff, that's kind of how LA looks. The trash is always there.
Right now that looks a lot like GTA 6. Basically, Trump was arresting and deporting a bunch of people who entered the country illegally. Turns out there's actually a lot of them, and this is obviously different from immigrants who came legally and waited for their visa, waiting in line, and came through based on certain qualifications.
Almost like they did what they were supposed to do.
He's basically going and arresting people who broke the law. So,
man, isn't that fucked up? Oh man, isn't that? Oh man, what a bad guy! Can't believe it.
Essentially, a bunch of people are protesting.
Wait a minute, are you telling me that crime is illegal?
Yes, Tactone. It has some perks, Throbbing. I'm just gonna call you Goblin. It has some perks. I'm not gonna lie. The food in California is pretty fucking good.
These arrests.
And I ride a motorcycle, and it's pretty nice being able to ride the motorcycle almost year-round.
Trying to keep these people in America, but the protests have turned into full-blown riots with people throwing bricks, lighting cars on.
Oh, there it is.
On fire, vandalizing property.
Peacefully.
He's right. They are peacefully. That brick was a metaphor for the system crashing down on us.
Throwing.
Oh, I know, dude. That's where I learned how to cook. I lived in South Carolina for 5 years, and that's where I learned how to cook good soul food, dude. I love Bojangles. Do you know if you know what Bojangles is? Put a comment in. Bojangles is the shit.
Breaks at people.
It's like the quickest fast food and some of the best biscuits and gravy you can get in the morning. And the sweet tea, so good.
Moving vehicles, peacefully setting cars on fire, peacefully destroying property. You don't.
Tectone, I'm telling you, man, those are political statements. That's what those are. That is the voice of the unheard.
Don't understand. They had no choice because, and oh my God, I saw this. I don't.
Civilian.
Because with that logic, I know your ass is unemployed.
And causing massive destruction to not only the cops, but also civilians.
Oh, I gotta see that again. Did you see that little
Causing massive destruction to not only the cops, but also civilians.
Look at that person. Look at that little warrior. I want to make sure I get the full video of this person fighting.
And causing massive destruction to not only the cops, but also civilians in the city itself.
She just cast a spell on him. She tried to stupefy his ass.
So Trump is now sending the National Guard to quell the riots. So let's start with Asmongold talking
Oh,
about...
this is hilarious. We got angry Latinos, we got Hasan Piker, we got Dennis, we got Taylor Lorens, and now we got apparently fucking wizards trying to fight the cops and cast spells on them. I love it.
About the riots and how Hasan should be banned for participating. Alrighty,
Absolutely
subscribe or you gotta join Hamas Piker in the riots.
By the way, yo, more Pegasus. I know you watch all my reacts to your videos. There's actually a Wojak version of Hasan that you could replace your actual Wojak with the Hasan Wojak, and that would be great. Use them to your advantage, man. Yeah, really get in there, man.
That's not peaceful, what was happening. It's not peaceful for people to be on the highways. It's not peaceful for people to throw rocks or
Just so everyone knows, that's a sped up video. She doesn't actually talk like that.
bottles. That's not peaceful.
So she said it's not peaceful. Even she says that. I think it's pretty impressive that they managed to blame the fact that all of their citizens are totally f***ing schizoing out, setting cars on fire. They're trying to blame that on Donald Trump. And the fact is that none of these people are ever being held accountable. This is...
What is the goal here? What is this guy trying to do? Is he trying to steal a steering wheel?
Literally, like, you're looking at burning cars. Hasan almost got banned for filming a crime. I mean, realistically, Hasan getting on the highway like that should get him...
Well, I did. I thought he would go. And he didn't go into the actual epicenter of it. He just went on the edge. Like, this is the 101 freeway right here. This is like 2 underpasses away from entering the main city. And, yeah, look at him. He's loving it. I guarantee you he's giggling under that mask.
If you commit a crime and you're breaking the law on stream, you should get banned.
But look what's around. There's no police officers around. There's no danger. Hasan, he's not stupid. All right? That's one thing Hasan is not. He's been doing this for over a decade. I remember seeing Hasan Piker in 2011 when I was in high school, when he was first coming up, and everyone was like, "Oh, he's so edgy." He was definitely targeting the younger generation, and he hasn't stopped. That's what he does. He targets the young, rebellious mind. It's a niche. It's what he does. It's what he's going to continue to do. He's going to be 80 years old talking about rebellion. He's going to look like fucking Che Guevara.
Absolutely against the terms of service. I just want you guys to see this. Immigrant run Salvadoran restaurant that helps sheriff's deputies with tear gas.
This woman right here, this angel, I saw this woman. As soon as all this is over, I'm going to be going to her restaurant, and I'm going to be supporting her. She put her politics aside. She put all this aside. She risked her business to help people, regardless of who they were. She wasn't just helping the police officers. She was helping injured protesters, too. This woman is an angel amongst demons. Love this woman. If you are in the LA area, after all this is blown over, we need to find out who this lady is, and we need to go support her business.
As in their eyes. This entire dichotomy, it's like the Latino people are like the ones being attacked or whatever. No, this is not true. This is a group of...
This is actual good people doing good things with the minimal resources they have. If you don't know what she's doing, this cop was clearly pepper sprayed by somebody. It probably was blowback from his own pepper spray. I don't know. Or this sheriff's sheriff's deputy. And she's put milk on his eyes. It's not a insta-fix, but it does help with mace. I've been maced 6 times, not because I did anything wrong or not because I hurt anybody, because it was training exercises.
Lawless, aggressive, psychotic people. They're setting random cars on fire. W restaurant? Yeah, those are illegal immigrants. Those are Americans. This isn't white people versus brown people. This is not Mexicans versus Americans. These
people need to stop seeing Americans. When you say the word American, stop picturing American in your mind as a white dude. Stop picturing it as frickin' George Washington or Abraham Lincoln. American is a group of people who are all working hard. It's a very diverse group, and that's why America is so great. And that's why everybody wants to come here, because you can be who you truly want to be as long as you're not a piece of shit who wants to hurt people. If you come here with the idea that you're going to make other people kowtow to your song, it's not going to go well for you. And that's how we end up like this.
These are crazy, violent, psychopathic, aggressive criminals.
If anybody doesn't know, just a quick little firefighting plug. These are electric vehicles. You see how the flames are red? That's because the batteries are catching on fire. People think, oh, this is a normal fire. This is not a normal fire. There is no way to put this out. The magnesium, the lithium, everything in those ion batteries is going to burn until this goes. A normal
Americans,
fire wouldn't melt the rims of a car.
Violent, psychopathic,
kind of scene right
aggressive
there.
Criminals versus the rest of the normal people that want to be able to live.
And then look at this. These people, this is called an ambush for anyone who's never played Call of Duty or anyone who's never played any kind of video game or at least seen any kind of war information. This is an ambush. These police officers were clearly attacked. They're throwing fireworks on them. This vehicle is disabled. They're probably trying to retreat. This is called terrorism.
Live their life and run a restaurant in America and pursue the American dream.
Right, that's pretty well said. This is obviously not a race issue. This is not an immigrant versus non-immigrant issue. This is people breaking the law versus law-abiding citizens. This is violent people committing crimes, literally setting cars on fire, endangering regular people. And obviously people like Hasan are actually out there supporting violence, supporting terrorism, and trying to make this a race issue, trying to...
I'm sorry, guys. This is just so fucking gay how I get banned for calling someone fat for 2 weeks. And Hasan goes live on a stream and commits crimes. And
okay, to be fair, yes, standing on the 101 freeway is a crime. You do have a right to peacefully protest, but standing on the 101 freeway is a crime. He is true. It's not the end-all be-all of crime, but he is right. The term Twitch service does say the Twitch terms of service does say you cannot commit crimes on stream. Yes, the right to peacefully protest. You're 100% correct.
On fire, vandalizing property, destroying cars, going into government buildings, and endorses it and says more people should come out, and then says half the people here are actually Hasan viewers.
Oh, so he even did Hasan really say that? Did he really say that his viewers were down there and he knew that as a matter of fact? I'd love to see that clip, because that's what I suspect is happening. That's why I'm not saying Hasan made the riots what they are. But I am saying is that Hasan going down there and live streaming it encouraged people who are fans of his in the local area to sprint down to that location to try to meet their favorite streamer. I saw yesterday where that actually happened. Someone came up to him. It was actually a lovely exchange in the middle of chaos, where one of his fans came down and was like, "Hi, I'm a big fan of yours, love you." And he was like, "Oh, thanks, bro."
And we're keeping this guy on the platform. Dan Clancy, you are fucking retarded. Genuinely, what the fuck? There's VTubers out here getting banned for 2 weeks for showing too much hip. Hasan is promoting people to commit crimes on his stream.
Divide people based on
It's
nothing
so
but propaganda.
embarrassing.
Now, it turns out Hasan even admitted that this protest is full of his fans.
Yep.
Hasan says that half the people at the protest he attended in LA were his fans. No wonder there's so many federal agents in my chat.
No wonder there's so many federal agents in my fucking chat, dude. It's like half of the protest is Hasan obvious.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
Of course.
It's so embarrassing.
Right. So
he actively knows that he's out here promoting violence. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say he's promoting violence. He's actively out here making it worse by including more people into this protest and putting more of his fans in danger. This absolutely shows he does not care about the well-being of his fans. He only cares about his own well-being and shock value. That's what he builds his entire platform atop. Shock value and being edgy. And not caring what kind of danger it puts actual humans in.
he's admitting that his own fans are rioters and criminals and violent extremists.
Wait a second. Did that chat say what I think it said?
It's so embarrassing.
Right, so he's admitting that his own fans...
There it is. It said bold. I love
are
it.
rioters and criminals and violent extremists.
It's just fucking
can't make
nuts.
this shit up. Dude, there's literally a giant fire behind him with this cloud of smoke. I don't know what exactly is burning. I'm hoping that's a car and not a building. Both are pretty bad, but one is worse, obviously. Like, Hasan is out here openly admitting that he is basically leading...
It's either a car or a building or tear gas, one of the three.
...to this. He's the
No, it's not tear gas. Tear gas doesn't look like that.
one radicalizing these people.
Tear
These
gas
are
is white.
literally his fans. Half these people are his fans. He's admitted it. How is he not banned for streaming this? This will be used against him in court someday. I wonder if Hasan started that fire behind him. Wouldn't put it past him. This is a good way to speedrun a long...
I would, because he's a coward. He doesn't take any action of his own. He just convinces other people to do it. I know for a fact he didn't start that fire, because that's what he does. He instigates other people to take action. He will never take action himself. He's a commenter.
long prison sentence. Oh wow, so that's why his viewer count has been lower lately. Bro, this guy's regarded for saying this. Expect the ADL to bring this up again. He's always like, why are they complaining about me on media? Why are these slop tubers talking about me? Dude, you're literally supporting terrorist actions.
Yep.
Did you get that on camera? It's just Hasan like
that's not
soy
a-
facing.
There it
Mommy,
is.
I did a protest. Look at me. I'm just eating some ice cream, guys.
Why would you
I'm a
post
worker for the
that?
people. And he's obviously not going to put himself right next to the danger. He wants to be as safe as possible while getting all the brownie points. So it turns out Asman is still living rent-free in Hasan's head. He called...
No way. No way he brings up Asmongold a fucking again.
him out even at the protest.
Bro, he's out there. He's out there talking about me. Hopefully, one day we'll see the largest political commentator, Asmongold, out here in the streets. You know, for protest.
Yeah, well, at this point, just admit defeat, Hasan. Admit that this guy is just, he is your daddy. The Roach King. lives in this man's mind.
This thing for, I don't know, make it okay.
He weaponizes fans and even other content creators like Bad Empanada. You'll never see Hasan experience consequences. He's too smart for that. Who's Bad Empanada? I've never heard of this person. Is that one of his orbiters?
Sure. I'll go with the National Guard to arrest everybody who's standing in the highway. Yeah, I think that.
I would too. I would love to do that. I would love to render aid and make sure that these people aren't hurt beyond to the point where they're going to die. I would love to assist with that, but I'm not allowed to because it's a police operation. I'm not dumb, and I don't try to go there and interfere. He's the guy that encouraged people to call CPS on H3, extremely unhinged dude. Okay, I haven't delved into the H3 Hasan issue. I haven't watched the content dump. I probably should. I could do a reaction to it if I want. The true activist. Let's talk about lackluster, also former military.
That's.
Hey, I'll join you,
Is
man.
Lackluster a content creator that I should check out?
Yep. We'll finally do that Pokemon stream, man. We'll finally do the Pokemon stream.
Sounds great.
By the way, before some people spaz out, this is literally what the mayor said.
That's not peaceful, what was happening. It's not peaceful for people to be on the highways. It's not peaceful for people to throw rocks. That's not peaceful.
And now this...
Then why didn't you call on the... Yeah, he's a YouTuber. He's a 4 auditor. I'll have to check that out.
Genius is also calling out Bernie Sanders after he said these protests were counterproductive.
But they're putting themselves in harm's way and...
Oh, wait a second. Was that say Hasan was calling out Bernie Sanders? Dr. King defeated racist government officials. No.
Counterproductive. But they're putting themselves in harm's way and potentially setting themselves up for a criminal future. I talked to the DA just a couple of minutes ago. The DA will file felony charges on individuals and also...
You know what these people could have done instead of going on the street, setting cars on fire and burning buildings? Maybe they could have just helped the illegal immigrants with their paperwork. Help them fill it out.
No, because see, that would require actual time and brain power. People see this, they're like, how can I make the most noise with doing the littlest amount of effort? I got an idea. Let's go destroy a bunch of shit.
Them immigrate peacefully rather than destroy the entire fucking city. Get them a job application. Are y'all fucking stupid?
Also the potential for federal charges.
Listen, I don't think anybody has a problem with peaceful protest. Like, if you're just out there marching and letting your voice be heard, I don't really see much of a problem, right?
Sure.
You're entitled to do that. But if you're out there burning cars, literally vandalizing property, causing destruction, harming civilians, of course there's going to be a problem. And of course Hasan is on the side of the violent rioters. Can any Hasan fan tell me what purpose does lighting things on fire serve? What purpose does burning cars serve? You're literally...
Oh, they got a fucking... What's that shit called? Frostbite debuff, and they're trying to cure it. That's what they're trying to do. Yeah, they got a frostbite debuff in WoW, and they're trying to cure that shit.
Actually just giving the cops more reason to actually go and arrest you because you're committing crimes.
I can't get the fucking dumbass take that Asmongold had out of my mind. It was the stupid...
Yeah, that's because he's smarter and more successful than you, and you fucking hate it. This man wears a goddamn Target t-shirt for fucking 7 days straight, shoots a video, and doesn't have to do much else except listen to your own rhetoric, and completely get 10 times the views you get, and yeah, that bothers you. It's called getting fucking owned, you loser.
Oh God, bro. Admitting Asmon lives rent-free in his head is insane.
It's always about me.
This is the sad thing. Hasan's definitely going through an identity crisis because he knows what he's doing is wrong. And he's so deep in it and too scared to come out and do actual journalism and do things that actually could help. Because he's so far into this narrative that he doesn't see a way out. And it's eating at him. That's why Asmongold, who is telling the truth, really gets to Hasan.
Which one? Being like, oh, if you ever see protests where there's other countries' flags being waved, you know you're in America. It's like, yeah, dumbass, it's a diverse country.
Oh, I gotta read this. The fact that Hasan is getting blown out on the daily by a random Texan caveman that doesn't leave his house is amazing. That is true. That is true. This beautiful recluse of a man, this king of the roaches, doesn't have to do shit except say, go check out Hasan Piker's stream for maybe 10 minutes for a clip of him saying Asmongold's name, because I'm pretty sure Hasan has probably said Asmongold's name on stream every day for the last 3 fucking months to talk about how much more successful Osman is.
Bomb that just went off in the background?
It's a diverse country. Wouldn't you expect to see more American flags though? Because, like, I mean, to be fair, at least there's one of them right there.
Also, and how much to feel proud about right here.
Guys, how come I never see any gay pride parades in Palestine? Why is that?
I wonder why. I truly wonder why. We should probably do some research into that.
Why is that? Free rent? Oh, yeah, absolutely. We have flashbangs and fireworks? Oh, absolutely.
This endless police militarization.
You wouldn't need the militarization. You didn't have people throwing rocks at them.
What the hell does that mean, militarization? Let's look that up before we go any further, because that's one of their favorite things to say. The process of becoming ready for war or conflict. It can be also referred to the adaptation of civilian institutions or organizations to resemble the military. Can include equipment police with military-grade weapons and tactics. Okay. Gotcha. I just want people to know military grade means built by the lowest bidder. But yes.
Remember, bricks of peace, gentlemen.
There is no war in Ba Sing Se, guys. It's mostly peaceful protests, actually. Now, I've been saying this for 37 videos now. Hasan is radical.
I think America is the country that if you were in America and you were waving around a
extreme, supporting violence openly, and he needs to be stopped. I don't care if it takes 100 episodes. We're gonna show everybody, piece by piece, what a fraud, lying piece of shit this guy is, and the real damage he's actually doing to people.
For Cat, I'm already sure V8 knows I keep about the 10th. That's the 10th Amendment that states the right to regulate the constitutional right. Yes, the states do have the right to regulate constitutional rights. It's a principle kind of not unlike the one in the military. So in the military, the big Navy, say the Chief of Naval Operations makes a policy, right? Everyone shall adhere to that policy. Say that policy says 7 days out of the week, you have to wear a blue t-shirt. You have to do it. All right? We have to wear that blue t-shirt. Now, the lower echelons of commands cannot take away from that policy, but they can fucking certainly add to it. Kind of like the Second Amendment here in California. It says shall not be infringed in the Bill of Rights, but California has, I think, the second most gun restrictions. So it's a lot like that. It's a lot like that principle. They can't take away from the enforcement of laws, but they can create new laws to help build up that. And states do have that right.
People. Hasan acts more like an obsessed ex-girlfriend than he does a man. Hasan is has it called the Rachel syndrome.
Yep.
Peaceful breaks.
Yep. Peaceful fires. People breaks.
Peaceful fires of healing.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying, Havoc. That's what I was telling. Because I know you understand the 10th Amendment. I was just telling people states do have the right to enforce the law of the constitutional law, but they also have the right to add to it based on their own vote. They can add restrictions. That's almost like a community making its own rules. An American principle. No, it's okay. It's okay. I just wanted to clarify to make sure we were on the same page.
An overpass should be.
That's why when you go to different states have different gun laws. Because the community demographic has chosen this is what they want.
An attempted murder charge. It literally is, though. It literally is. Now, remember that journalist that always glazes Hasan? Taylor?
Oh, yeah. 80-year-old Taylor Lorens.
Yeah, the Hamas terrorist organization was doing peaceful bombings at the airport. Yeah, everybody they killed, they were actually secretly a Nazi. It was all people.
Hi, Taylor. What are you doing? Watch out.
Good to see you guys. Hi, everyone.
Taylor's here.
I'm here with some other journalists. I'm actually on my way to...
Yep. I partake because I have chronic pain that I have to deal with in my right shoulder. I have arthritis in my neck, and honestly, those CBD and THC gummies are what. I'm lucky I live in California because I can just go get them. There's a place I walk to down the road that I can go to get them. All right, because I'm not gonna lie, I get prescribed Tylenol, and I don't want to. And I've been offered Vicodin, and I've been offered worse things. I'm not giving out medical advice. I'm not saying do what I do. I'm just saying this is what works for me. My chronic pain, they offered me Vicodin. They offered me a couple other narcotics, prescription-wise, and I told them no because I don't want to fall into that addiction cycle. So I said I'm gonna try the natural route, and I went with CBD gummies, and they worked out pretty good for me.
go meet them.
What are you guys doing?
Sergio just got here. He got shot with one of those pepper things in the chest. So
he got shot with a fucking paintball. Yeah, that's a good one. Dr. House, I love that show. Such a good show. House MD, such a good show. My favorite was when he was in the mental. That was my favorite arc, was when he was in the mental asylum.
Oh no.
But he's coming back.
Yeah, they are.
I know, they keep shooting shit. Be careful. I feel like it's not gonna get really crazy until dark, like later.
Yeah, when you guys aren't gonna fucking be there.
These are the journalists that Hasan points you to. He's like, oh yeah, these are the objective, very neutral journalists here. Literally all a bunch of Hasan Sims, man. How pathetic. Also, you know that you're in the right when you need to hide your face. I don't even know why Hasan is doing that.
He's not hiding his face. He's wearing a costume.
Like, everybody knows who he is. The cops are not gonna be like, well, it seems I can't identify this man.
My hair.
Oh, yeah. A flashbang went off. It wasn't even a flashbang. It was a firework went off way in the background, sounded like. It didn't sound like a flashbang. It could have been. Fuck it. But it was nowhere near him. On the actual video, you couldn't even see the bang. You could hear it. And he's like, my hair, my beautiful luscious locks. They didn't even move 1 inch. Listen. Listen. Look how happy he is. Look how happy he is to be here. People are getting their asses kicked. People are getting hurt. Livelihoods destroyed. Medical issues are going to come down because of this, because of these injuries these people hit. And he thinks it's fucking funny.
I will give Hasan some credit here that he did actually go down there. Granted, it's literally all his fans who would apparently just take a bullet for him because they're so integrated into the cult. But at least he went on the ground, as he says. There is a 0.001% chance that he does get...
Yeah, this is his own personal TwitchCon. That's exactly what this is. His own personal TwitchCon. And he loves it that way. This is how he wants to operate.
Shot, so he is actually risking something here. But I do think Hasan is conveniently far enough away from any danger, so he's positioned...
Why are they here?
Okay, I correct my previous statement. Just seeing this right here.
So he is actually risking something here. But
okay, so it was a flashbang grenade that went off. Right here. They probably dropped it to push the crowd back because they're trying to reopen the freeway. So yes, a flash grenade did go off. Not around him, not fucking next to him, but close enough to where he could hear it.
I do think Hasan is conveniently far enough away from any danger, so he's positioned...
Why are they here?
That, kids, is called admitting when you're wrong. A lot more people should try it.
Waving the Mexican flag. I don't
give a shit
get
what flag
it.
you're
Hasan's
waving.
not down there.
All this does, waving the flag for the country that you're not in, just shows that you are likened to an invader. That's what that looks like to people. That's not what I'm saying you are. That's just what it looks like. It looks like you're actually trying to invade. It looks like you're actually trying to take over. Well, they're mostly for concussive force. They're mostly just to scare and disperse. They're mainly designed for inside buildings. Here, it's just a loud noise to get attention. They can't go shooting off guns. Yeah, that's true.
Fucking dirt, bro. He's just watching them from a safe distance, pretending that he's in the fucking dirt. If he's not in the front line, he's just not doing anything, bro. He's just praying to God. People think that he is exactly what he preaches.
Perfectly, so that he will get all the accolades for actually...
Now, he is still committing a crime, being on the highway. Yep.
Going down there, but at the same time, he's far enough away that he's not going to get damaged in any meaningful way, right? So, for example, Hasan is not going to be standing next to a burning car. Now, if he actually does that, okay, then he's actually legitimately insane. He's not just stupid, but dangerously stupid. Now, apparently, one of his fans went up to him and basically, like, severely dramatized the story of getting pelted with, like, a paintball gun or something.
Show you this. I'm trying to show anyone who can get it out. I had the Palestinian flag with the Shahada on it, and they purposely,
Is that a paintball?
Are you in the arm?
Yes, they said get the girl with the tan backpack. My comrade overheard.
Wait.
My comrade overheard them say, get the girl in the tan backpack. You know what we'll do? We'll shoot her with a paintball. Really, fucking teacher. Okay.
Wait, did she just say comrade?
Yes.
I swear that's like a communist thing, no? Dude, average Hasan fan.
Every time I hear comrades, all I think of is, hey, comrades. Sound like a bunch of SpongeBob rebelists.
Now you can literally see the bruise.
Yeah,
it's
he's
like the
looking out
tiniest
over
shit
his
ever,
subjects
which is kind
right
of bound
now.
to happen if you're...
Even he, look at his reaction. He's like, I can't sell this shit. This is garbage. Go get your hand chopped off.
Out there rioting in the cop's face, right? And she tries...
Dude, I can't believe that I was
is she
committing
standing
an
on a
illegal
curb?
activity and then I got punished for it. Oh, man, hearts in the chat for this chick, man. I was committing a crime and then I suffered the consequences of my own act.
Do you think Antifa and all these people, do they think they give out medals for this kind of heroism? Do you think for her noble sacrifice, she's going to get a little bottle cap medal that says, it's like a Purple Heart for rebels. Is there gonna get that?
Oh, bro, this is horrible.
To make it so much more than it is, like I might be fractured. Thank God I still have my legs.
This is bullshit, dude.
Point blank.
Point blank my ass, lady. Shut up. Anybody who's ever played paintball or airsoft knows damn well she was at least 30 feet away. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I committed a crime and got mild bruise on my arm for it instead of jail time. Woe is me. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Goblin.
I think it might be fractured or sprained, but I'm okay. I have cousins in Syria. They go through it way worse. I still have 2 feet, so I'm going to keep going. But, I just...
Yeah, I'm not super proud of the medals I got because they're usually connected to a long string of terrible shit I had to go through. There's some medals out there that people actually saved lives and you're excited for it, yeah. But... yeah, there's most vets that I know aren't like, they don't look at their ribbon rack and they don't look at their medals and they're like so proud of what they've done. They look at it and each one represents a period of their life where they had to do something that they never thought they'd have to do.
I really wanted. Thanks for letting me show you that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, thank you.
That's wild.
Great commentary.
Yeah, my arm's really fucked up. I can barely move it. It's gotta be...
Okay, the only medal I was remotely proud about was my expert pistol and rifle qualification medals. That's the only medals I was actually enjoyed getting and enjoyed having because it was fun shooting. Who doesn't love shooting guns? I love shooting guns.
Fractured or broken, takes it out conveniently, shows off the sleeve, shows where the wound is, puts it back in with no pain whatsoever. Yeah, I know, man. They really got you, huh? Honestly, I'll be real, man. Your arm should have been... Clearly, the policeman did not hit them hard enough if they are still out there doing the illegal activity.
Hasan, even he knew that she was completely bullshitting. He's just like, yeah, that's crazy, man. It's like when your friend tells you some like made up story and you're like, that's crazy, bro. Dude, she literally said, thanks for letting me show you that like on the stream and stuff, right? Obviously, nobody actually grievously injured.
I'm looking it up right now.
She just wanted to be on your goddamn stream and dramatize the story like, oh, they shot me point blank. Dude, they clearly didn't want to harm you. That barely did anything. I get more injured playing table tennis when I hit the edge of the table. Her acting like a war survivor, like, thank God I still have my 2 legs, bro.
Yeah, this paintball fractured my whole arm, and I can barely move it. Okay, well,
by Leonard Skinner.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I'll check that out
today
when I go on my motorcycle ride.
Not even a whimper, not even an ouch.
These people are actual like revolutionary cosplayers. Anyways, Hasan is losing his mind on Twitter. Asmongold tweets, an easy way to check if a protest is in America is the flags. Are they all of one country? Not America. Are they a random bunch of countries plus pride or identity flags? America. Yeah, I can't believe people would wave Mexico flags in flippin' California. A migrant worker, asylum seeker, contributes more to this country in a day than this rotting husk will in a lifetime. Bro.
Of course, he still goes after Asmongold. This rotting husk informs millions of viewers per day. Much more than you do, Hasan. You're just mad that this rotting husk of a man who graciously does not grace us with his presence, that stays in his beautiful home, makes more fucking money than you, and it bothers you.
Bro, you both have the same job. You're both streamers. Also, I feel like Hasan has done immense damage to America, just spreading the type of propaganda he does. Also, funny thing, while I was researching the story, every
100%.
single headline uses the word immigrants or migrants. None of them says illegal. Not a single person actually mentions the fact that they...
Dude, that guy's hair was legit. Do you see that?
Absolutely.
Funny thing, while legally crossed the border and went into the country, that's migrants. None of them says illegal. Not a single...
Look at that guy. Look at that guy with the sunglasses.
Single person.
It's a good head of hair right there.
The fact that they illegally crossed the border and went into the country. That is an important fact. If you're breaking the law, it's completely different from waiting in line and actually following the law and getting a visa.
I know, right? That could fucking get that man a fucking Suavecito sponsorship stat.
Uses the same tactic. They basically want you to believe that there is no difference between law-abiding citizens and people who break the law. Hasan continues.
They don't want to migrate to America legally because the process takes too long because the lines are...
I have many friends who went through the process of getting a green card and then their citizenship, because it is a process. A lot of people think getting a green card makes you a citizen. It does not. There are restrictions on green cards. You're not allowed to vote. You're not allowed to do certain things. And you're not allowed to protest against the government. Let me be specific. You're not allowed to protest and advocate for attacks on the government. Now, that specific issue is up to the State Department to decide. You will go to court. You will get through due process. I am not saying you're not allowed to protest. You are allowed to peacefully protest and assemble. But what you're not allowed to do is advocate for violence and advocate for known terrorist organizations, because that opens you up to scrutiny of the State Department. And that is what's happening in a lot of cases right now. I had a YouTuber come on my comments and say that I was an authoritarian jackoff That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying green card does not give you certain rights. It gives you almost every right as an American citizen except for a few. But you got to mind your P's and Q's. That being said, every single green card holder that I knew that was in the military, every single one of them eventually went and got their naturalized citizenship. And that's what every green card person is encouraged to do once getting it. It takes around 10 years for the average person to get a green card. And it takes another few more years for them to get their actual naturalized citizenship. I do not think it's fair for someone who's been here for over 10 years doing things the right way to now have to wait and have their bandwidth taken up with the court system because millions of migrants decided to just jump the fucking border. That's not okay. That's not fair. If you're here illegally, I don't care what your sob story is. I'm sorry. It's too much. You have to go. Because we have people who are doing things the right way. People with integrity. People who want to bring something into this process, this journey, this nation we call America, this project. They want to contribute to it. They want to give their value. And it's not fair that we have to spend our resources taking care of people who are criminals. It's not okay.
For so long? But I thought America was bad. Why would the line be so long to immigrate to America if it's so bad? All right, but I thought America was horrible, man. What happened?
That's correct.
Defending the basically domestic terrorists at this point. People who freak about retaliation to cops at these rallies need to attend one protest, and they'll quickly realize that the agitators are the armed dudes in riot gear.
You can get in, but it's really hard to get resident visa, though, like really hard. Well, as a guy who has legally migrated to another country before and got a resident visa, all you have to do...
It's probably hard because the system's so jammed up with the bandwidth of having to deal with millions and millions of illegal migrants. Having to put all their effort into that. Did you ever think that maybe it wouldn't be so hard if we didn't have to deal with that fucking problem? Maybe the process would go by faster if we weren't trying to find housing and jobs for people to be here illegally so they can wait 5 years for their fucking court date?
Is just show, hey, I have a job in
yeah,
this
I
country.
know, but it's important.
I need to be in this country to do this job. Here's this it up, but I have had no issues.
Thousands of unarmed taxpayers.
And also, it doesn't matter how hard it is. I'm glad that we're vetting people so that way we don't have criminals coming into our country. We don't need any more than that. It costs $10,000 USD to get a US visa. It cost me maybe like $6,000 to get a visa in Canada. Yeah, people might have to work for it. I know. That's a scary thought. People might have to work for it. Man, that's rough. You got to like prove that you're not a criminal and you got to like pay money to get in? That's crazy, bro. Yeah, I don't feel bad at all.
Paying for the chemicals?
Sure. Could they make it a little bit easier? Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. Don't set fire to the streets and vandalize property to do that shit. You know, maybe every Tuesday instead of 10K, it's 8K. You know?
Sorry about that. I had a call from the VA.
As well as their salaries and pensions. Just flashback to the burning cars, bro. Also, half of these illegals are not paying taxes, bro. They ain't doing shit. Now, people are also hounding XQC over this. XQC and the community have become too fascistic for my liking. I guess having genocide lover losers like Destiny and Asman as their moral compass turns you into fascist little bleh. F XQC. XQC responds, bro saw burning cars and got mad I wasn't celebrating.
Yep.
What a completely reasonable take. How awful of him to be like, oh, that looks terrible. Shit's on fire. That doesn't look good. Because last time I checked, Los Angeles isn't a fucking campground.
Now, Hasan tries to call out Asmongold again, but immediately owns himself.
By the way, to understand how far right we have gotten, for the record, back in the day, when Pestany said, I don't care, white supremacists need to fucking mow down these, like, stupid black counter protesters, he got fucking banned. He got de-verified.
Out of curiosity, is there any proof that Destiny is a sex pest?
Not that I'm aware of. There's allegations in a court issue going on with somebody about him recording videos without consent.
Is there actually any...
But I don't think anything's been actually ratified or approved or anything that's actually been adjudicated.
Verifiable proof that he's a sex pest? Yeah, it's on video. Because the only thing that I've ever seen of Destiny is denying a woman's advance for having sex with him. Okay, YouTuber Destiny36 is accused of revenge porn by 4...
That's not why we're here. That's not why we're here.
Yeah, they deserve it. To be fair, he's talking about the cops in this circumstance. We understand them as white supremacist force, but, and not like the non-state actors taking matters in their own hands.
I think the important thing is that's a very serious thing to call someone, so I'd like...
Well, that's how he operates. That's what Hasan and Orbiters do. When they disagree with you or anything you say, they're just going to accuse you of being the most awful shit they could think of. They're going to use buzzwords like white supremacy, Nazi, what is the word? Not communist. What's the word I'm looking for? Fascist. Sorry, they're fascists. They're going to say that you're authoritarian. They're going to call you a rapist. They're going to call you the worst thing they can possibly call you to make it to where they don't have to talk to you. Because now their little cohorts, their little goblins are going to go out and they're going to attack them. They're going to repeat all your talking points. And once they run out, and they're going to be like, "Is this your only thing?" And yes, this is their only thing. This is literally his only thing that he does. Is he does ad hominem attacks, and when he's confronted about it, he's like, "Oh!" He freaks out and screams at him, like what he did with Ethan Klein when they had their podcast falling out. He screamed at him the entire time, calling him a fucking fascist. Anytime Hasan Piker is losing a debate or has nothing to talk about, he will do an ad hominem attack.
I like to wait until I'm fully in.
Yep.
Formed.
Pretty much how it is.
All right, cool.
Dude, oh my god, he just caught himself immediately. Like, Asman said the cops should enforce the law. Wow, what a controversial
Yeah, cops should enforce the law. Truly awful.
opinion,
I know.
man. Almost like
Fucked
that's what
up.
they're paid to do. Dude,
It's almost like these police officers and law enforcement all took like some kind of, I don't know, oath to say that they'd enforce the law and the rights of the Constitution. Crazy concept, truly. Truly baffling. Why would they go out and do this? Are they being paid to do this? Are they being paid to, enforce laws? Is this some kind of organized thing with a pension?
Hasan is so far left at this point, it's crazy. Bro just loves...
I don't think this is the left or a right thing. I don't think this is the left or a right thing. Saying everyone on the left is like Hasan is a dangerous thing. Saying everybody on the right is like Osmond Gold or Donald Trump or Tectone is not true either. There's a lot of nuance and there's everybody in between. The only thing is the loudest ones and the ones that get the most play are the ones that are the extremists. All right. I do not consider him to be a representative of the left. I consider him to be a representative of the terrible community that he has co-opted, the terrible community that he has created. This is his own branch of retardation. So no, I don't like the whole left versus right. This is Hasan Piker and his cohorts. This is the orbit he's created. This is the club that he is responsible for. This is not a representation of everybody who considers themselves left. This is 100% his own doing.
Loves any form of terrorism, whether it be Hamas, the Houthis, Hezbollah, domestic...
Oh god, that shit.
Terrorism, like any form of it, bro. And this guy's saying Asman is far right for saying that people who are burning down the city need to be arrested. What the heck is wrong with you, man? This is beyond mental illness. And then in classic Hasan fashion, he plays victim, saying that he's gonna get banned on Twitch.
The results are the same. He will get no punishments for this. As a matter of fact, I'll probably get banned before he does.
Literally zero.
Yeah, you'll probably get banned on another one of your off days again. Must have been so fucking awful. Get banned on the day that you weren't streaming. So you lost all that revenue for that day that you didn't do shit. Yeah.
Zero sympathy for these kinds of people. He's trying to run away from the police, etc. I don't
notice that he has to reach back to a previous video to get his point across.
don't give a shit. They're psychopaths. Well, they're people. The reason why these people are doing it, I'm off. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, no, you're right. the psychopath is
Notice the nervous laugh.
certainly the people that are protesting ICE kidnapping other people. Okay.
It's not kidnapping. There's detaining and arrest. Learn your language, stupid.
Kidnapping their neighbors, kidnapping their community members, and not the...
Those are another one of the buzzwords that people like him like to use. People in his orbit, they will never call it what it actually is. They will always find a new word, new descriptor to call anything that is inconvenient to their narrative.
Rat King, who is...
There's the ad hominem attack.
Covered in...
I should make a Hasan Piker fucking bingo card.
In his own fucking filth and rot, sitting in the comfort of his fucking home, going, yeah, it's perfectly fine to trample over a taxpayer with horses. Yeah, it's based. Yeah, I'm really glad. Disgusting.
Yes, a taxpayer. Brother, they are committing crimes. You're never free to...
You're right. Should I just wave my W-2 in front of the police and say, you work for me next time I get pulled over? You think I should do that? Maybe I should put that on stream.
Commit crimes, even if you're a legal taxpayer. Also, can this guy stop pretending?
Has Hasan ever given a good faith argument in
No.
his entire career?
No, he
on
has
this platform? Because I'm really looking for a single time where he's ever done or said anything in good faith. And
Well, that's because people like him, they can't have a straight conversation. They can't do an actual investigation, and they can't tell you how they actually feel. The only thing they can do is rile up support for a retarded narrative that they built.
I really can't think of a single fucking time, and it is honestly fucking shocking. Straight up. How are we going to villainize Asmund saying, yeah, I think it's fine that the police do their jobs?
Like Twitch is ever going to ban him. Bro, we all know Dan Clancy is literally under the table right now, sucking you off with the force of a victory bell from Pokemon. He's Venus flytrapping that shit. And whenever Asmund calls for the ban of Hasan, it is for a legitimate reason. Hasan was literally participating and supporting the riots. That is a perfectly legitimate reason to be banned. Then Hasan says that anybody that hates him only watches edited clips of him out of context.
But there's not a single person out there that actually despises everything I stand.
I don't despise you. I don't hate you. I don't have any personal feelings against you. I would love to actually talk to this man, and I would do stuff further. People's like, oh, you want to debate him? No, actually, I would give this man an entire 4 hours to actually tell me his side. I would actually sit there for 4 hours, and I would take notes. I would ask questions, but I would promise to not argue with this man, to just hear what he had to say, in the promise that afterwards he would let me tell him what I think the fallacies are, what I see that he's doing wrong, if he would do the same thing for me. But he will never do that, because I doubt he can keep up with his ideals for 30 fucking seconds to tell me exactly who Hasan Piker is. He would never agree to something like that. And of course, you wouldn't agree with that with me, because I'm just a lowly fucking streamer who's streaming to probably like 3 people right now. But the point is, Hasan is not someone who will genuinely communicate what he actually fucking talking about or what he lives by, because his values are consistently changing based on what's popular and what's shocking.
And for that has consumed my content directly.
Hasan, okay, well, first of all, crazy victim take. You don't have anybody that stands against everything that you stand for. It's just that you promote terrorism. It's just the one thing.
We have no idea. The thing is, he's so convoluted with his different messaging. We actually have no idea what he stands for. The only thing he's consistent about is supporting terrorism. That's true. That's the only thing he's consistent about in the last year, is supporting terrorists.
It's legit. It's just that. If you were to just stop doing that and stop breaking Twitch's terms of service, nobody would even care about you. Even me.
Thanks for the support, Havoc. You're the best.
You have made horrific statements about. I've even gone on record saying so many times how nice it was talking to you about anime. There is no "we all want Hasan to die" campaign. We just want Twitch to enforce its TOS and for you to stop promoting terrorism to your viewers. That's it.
That sounds so unreasonable. That sounds like such a tarnishment of the First Amendment for you to demand that a company enforce their rules fairly. It sounds truly awful.
It's an incredibly fair...
I would never want to live in that right-wing utopia of fair exchange of rules. I would never want to live in that... Get rid of the bots before we worry about this idiot. Yeah.
You
welcome,
are
Salty. Welcome.
The world's biggest bitch. If you can't understand that, it's really not this complicated. That's all it's ever been. That's all it ever will be.
They have consumed my content either indirectly.
The only person who wants to fucking kill you is Sam Hyde, and that's not me. So you have nothing to worry about.
With 17-second increments of clips, or they used to consume my content and they had a severe bout of anger when I said something that they disagreed with, that they internalized heavily, and they could not deal with that back and forth, and then that caused them tremendous resentment.
Can you give us an example of a person like that?
Once,
Hasan, you understand that you've called me a obligated generational rapist. You have said 1,000 hours of my
So Hasan's surprised that he goes out and he insults people, he riles people up, calls them the worst shit possible, and then they turn around and make videos about him saying that he's a bad man? That's crazy. Yeah, I know. I just covered that. I went to the riots and was like, look how chill and peaceful everyone is. Yeah, smoke, fire in the background. Yeah, because he doesn't want to... He wants to spin this narrative that unfortunately, the entire Democratic platform is spinning right now. Again, not a leftist or a right-winger. I'm just saying what's facts. That they're saying this is peaceful. You got Hillary Clinton on X saying the government's overreaching by sending the troops to shut this down. Yeah, Hasan Piker is just another freaking cog in the machine of narrative spinning. That's all he does.
Content. Once you get to episode 468, you realize I'm really actually kind of a cutie. Jesus, bro. You are not One Piece.
Sorry.
You are not
you're
One Piece, man.
Tremendous love and admiration.
Who are you talking to, Zavik?
Tremendous resentment and anger, and now they are super enemies.
Yeah, not a single person, huh? I mean, I can think of a couple people, not gonna lie. But okay, if you believe him, okay, open invitation to everybody watching. If you ever think I'm lying or misrepresenting him about anything, please, please, for the love of God, go to us.
Or they used to consume my content and they had a severe bout of anger when I said something that they disagreed with, that they internalized heavily, and they could not deal with that. Or they used to consume my content and they had a severe bout of anger when I said something that they
Alec, are you talking to somebody in chat? Because if you are, I can't see anything they're writing.
They could not deal with that back and forth, and then that caused them tremendous resentment. What was one?
Hasan, yeah, you're right.
You understand that you've called
you're
me
100% right.
a obligated generational rapist. You've said that off of nothing. Genuinely. You have said that.
Oh, it's all good, man.
Nothing.
No issues.
You said Asmongold killed his own mother. You need to acknowledge that you have said some horrific shit. You've said horrific shit. And you can't say this, oh, you only hate me because you've only seen the clips. If you watch 2,000 hours of my content, once you get to episode 468...
Super enemy. And admiration turned into...
Just 10 hours. But okay, if you believe him, okay, open invitation to everybody watching. If you ever think I'm lying or misrepresenting him about anything, please, please, for the love of God, go to Hasan's channel. You know, go verify the opinions. Go to his stream, watch his content. You know, heaven forbid, maybe drink a couple before you go there. You know, get his opinion, watch his 10-hour stream.
I would recommend doing it. Bring a fucking notepad too.
Come back and then let me know. Let me know what I got wrong. Because I'm guaranteeing you, if you survive the ordeal, because watching 10 hours of this guy is grounds for Minecraft jump off a cliff, your opinions will probably not change at all. Turns out I'm literally just showing this guy's own words that make him look horrible.
Yeah.
Not taken out of context. It is perfectly in context that this guy openly supports terrorists. What does I support the Houthis 10 toes down mean, bro?
I believe what the Houthis are doing is a good thing. 10 toes fucking down.
Such a narcissist.
What does that mean, 10 toes down? What does that mean? Is that a new phrase? I'm old. Ten toes down is slang, especially shaking sides being fully committed, loyal, and unwavering in support for something or someone. Okay. Without a doubt. Gotcha. Thank you. All right. So let me say this right now. He is absolutely not 10 toes down, because if he was, he would provide some level of material support and or be on the ground with the Houthis. He has not done any of that shit as far as I know. If he was really 10 toes down for that side, he would be there supporting them. He'd be there fighting them. This man is not an activist. He's a propagandist. I think he proclaimed himself a propagandist.
Piece of shit moron, bruh. The only way anyone hates me is if they don't watch my content.
Again, farming shock value. That's what he does.
Of course they don't. You're a flippin' idiot. The only reason this video is even bearable is because of my commentary interjecting, or we're occasionally watching Asmongold or somebody else. Like, if it was just Hasan clips, holy shit, we'd die. So anyways, let's just get a better idea of what's actually going on in LA.
If SpongeBob and Patrick were in this video, I could not stomach it. I just absolutely could not.
Shout out to YouTuber Decoy Boys for this coverage.
Love Decoy Boys.
The unruly mobs just took over
on mainstream media. Oh yeah, he said it on Piers Morgan, didn't he? He said he was a propagandist. He actually said that out loud and corrected Piers when Piers tried to say he wasn't calling him a propagandist. Hasan did actually. Oh yeah, I'm a propagandist.
Literally looks like it's been conquered.
Thank you.
As the ICE protests were essentially encouraged by the mayor, more of these foreign forces started to show up in the streets, or even the Fed vehicles are under attack.
Actually, I think, Havoc, I'm going to add the Constitution to my banner. I'm going to try to see if I can figure out a way to get the Bill of Rights somewhere on my page so people can look at it anytime they come to hate watch me.
actually shattering the windshield and injuring the agent. As this guy in a yellow dirt bike helmet was throwing rocks at not only the
A lot of people need to see it.
but
I don't know it
car
heart. I'm gonna admit I don't know it by heart. I consistently have to go back to it. I have a leather bound copy of the entire Constitution in my library.
By. So now the
yeah,
FBI's
maybe we just
deputy
maybe we just don't throw fucking bricks at police vehicles and civilians. Maybe we just don't do that.
director is looking the feds finally fight back.
I don't know about you, I'm a Hasan.
Another country's flag fighting with our federal agents. So it's good to see the feds finally fight back.
Oh yeah, you seem to have a good knowledge of it. So people are going to see this and say, "Oh, look at these guys! They're attacking these protesters." No, they're clearing their area. These are all non-lethal rounds. It's perfectly with the use of force continuum to do this. They are there unlawfully. They don't just show up and do this. They give these people ample warning. They've had 5 days of warning to get the fuck back home. There's a curfew in place, and they say we are taking these blocks back. So yes, when Hasan Piker, when Denims, when all these orbiters, when all these extremists go through and they show this exact clip and they say, "Oh my God, they're attacking civilians." No, they're dispersing a riot. They're not detaining and arresting people.
This looks pretty peaceful.
These guys are not kitted out to get people thrown into a fucking paddy wagon. These people are kitted out holding all this non-lethal ammo and pepper balls to get you the fuck out of there.
To me, I think we should actually give them sandwiches and refreshments for their great work for America. Dude, LA is so cooked, bro. If any of you are actually living there, my God, my heart goes out to you, bro. Imagine dealing with this shit.
Yeah.
Anyone who doesn't know this formation right here where they build a straight line across, it's called a blockade formation. They do it in order to push the protesters away because behind them they have more police officers and more units used to secure that area permanently. Okay, they also do have medical support behind them. So I know this looks intimidating and it looks scary. That's because it's fucking supposed to be. It's supposed to scare criminals. If I was a criminal, I'd be scared. And just like I said before, check it out. They're all wearing gas masks and stuff. So they're chucking their little canisters in front. They're chucking all their tear gas and stuff. This guy's standing behind him, ready to arrest anybody who tries to attack him. These guys are ready to go, and this is not something you want to be on the receiving end of.
Dealing with this shit.
Yeah, a couple of streamers were asking me to move out there. Hell no, absolutely not. That place is a shithole.
Yeah, they do. Said it's best if someone is throwing a... Aspen said it best. If someone is throwing a brick at concrete at your head, you have every right to use lethal force retaliation. Yes, that would actually be in the use of force continuum. Using weapons does authorize deadly force. If someone's using a weapon against a cop, that could cause... What is deadly force? If I remember the definition off the top of my head. It's been a while since I had to use it. The use of force, the force a person uses that knows or should know the substantial risk of causing death or serious bodily injury. I believe that was the military definition when I went through VBSS and training. So, what does that mean? In layman's terms, if we have matching force continuums. If someone's using non-lethal force, we use non-lethal force. As soon as they enter the realm of lethal force, be it a knife, a rock, a bat, of something like that, or even if someone's on the ground and they're getting their head kicked in, you have the right to use self-defense, to use lethal force in defense of others and yourself. That's context that a lot of people don't know or refuse to admit. So yes, using rocks, using bricks, using any kind of violence that could get someone killed opens you up to being on the receiving end of deadly force by law enforcement.
It turns out the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, has responded. He announced that California will be suing President Trump over the deployment of the National Guard. Gavin Newsom, we are suing Donald Trump. This is a manufactured crisis.
Yeah, it was manufactured by fucking retards and extremists.
He's creating fear and terror to take over a state militia and violate the U.S.
Yeah, and the rioters aren't creating fear and terror?
U.S. Constitution. This dude has the audacity to say it's a manufactured crisis, bro. You can't be serious. Oh my God, what a scumbag piece of shit. Are we sure this guy works for America? That doesn't seem correct. It seems like he wants his own city to crash and burn. What a despicable person, my God. And the fact that the entire media is just constantly lying about this and you have to get your facts from like slop tubers is insane.
And then some idiot goes crying online how her kid was affected in
this woman should be sent to jail and the child should be taken away from her for bringing a child into a fucking war zone, for bringing a child to an actual I would never bring a child to a protest. First off, that is just dangerous. I would never bring a child out in this heat, and I would never ever especially bring a child into a fucking riot. This is a terrible mother. This is not the child's fault. This is not the police's fault. This is 100% her fault. This mom should lose custody of her kid.
the riots. And of all the people I want arrested, I think the so-called mother deserves it the most, as you should know better than to bring your kid to this very volatile situation, unless, at best, you were using them as a prop for your protest, and at worst, you were using them as a shield from repercussions, or at the very worst, you knew—
If you bring your child into a dangerous situation knowingly, you're a shit parent and it's your fault.
I agree. Poor kid.
This would happen.
I don't know if you've all ever been on the receiving end of pepper spray and or tear gas, but it's not the best fucking feeling.
And are just looking for a taxpayer.
I will say, if you are having congestion, tear gas will get that shit cleaned out for you. So if you're in LA right now and you're having a little bit of a flu or a little bit of a nasal congestion, go out your window, give it a good little sniff, and that'll clear it right up.
Funded lawsuit.
Dude, people really bring their kids into this, man. How disgusting can you actually be? Like, using your kids to advance some sort of political point has got to be the most disgusting thing you can do. Like, if you're—
Yeah, this mother really cared about her kid. She's like, hey, take a picture of this while I take care of my crying baby who has fucking pepper spray in her eye. Take a picture of me.
Adult,
Mother
whatever,
of the
be
year.
as stupid as you want, but don't harm your kids, man. It just sucks.
What you saw in Los Angeles yesterday wasn't rioting and destruction, so stop trusting your eyes and just listen to the experts. As CNN shows you vehicles burning.
Peaceful protests, people that are there to protest.
MSNBC watches them skirmish with the feds.
These are peaceful people that want to get their message across. They brought signs.
That's
There
tear
are
gas.
families in some places.
And even controlled opposition, Fox News says,
there were no problems. At one point, somebody did throw a Molotov cocktail.
as the mostly peaceful people that cause no—
Yeah, it looks pretty fucking peaceful to me.
Peaceful Molotov cocktails. Now
The Molotov cocktail of peace.
that is a new one, guys. That is a real new one. I think these people should Google what the word peaceful means, because I really don't think they're using the 2022 updated or the 2025 update.
These are the same Karens who bring their kids to pride parades in front of gimps and nudists.
Version.
I do not like the idea of bringing children to adult parades and adult sections. I do not like the idea. I think it's a terrible idea, and I think it should be considered child abuse. And it should definitely be considered some kind of pornograph law or something where you cannot bring a child to adult situations. I can't bring a baby to a bar, but why are they able to bring them to a pride parade? I agree with that sentiment entirely.
no problems other than throwing a Molotov, with her LAPD releasing a statement saying, the demonstrations across Los Angeles remain peaceful.
Remain peaceful, mostly peaceful, actually. There is no war in Bossing.
Yeah, that's fucking Karen Bass right now. She's the Bossing Say. There's no water in Bossing Say. That's Karen Bass.
Yeah.
Anyone who doesn't know, Karen Bass is the mayor of LA. You know that lady who was in a foreign country while her city was on fire for a fucking week?
It's
that
so
lady.
pathetic. They're like trying their best to hide the footage and show the most non-violent parts, but even that is just a Herculean task because just so much of it is openly violent, right?
Yep.
It's just hilarious watching them squirm as their like complete narrative falls apart.
The rioters at best set buildings on fire, then broke apart their own sidewalks to make concrete projectiles. And as Fox News pointed out, they made improvised incendiary devices that masked men in hoods through
Over here like it's Modelo time.
But the local coppers. These idiots actually see themselves as revolutionary freedom fighters, but they're really just live-action role-playing.
Yeah, these are not revolutionaries. They're absolute fucking waste of space humans.
Yep.
Useless to society. Obviously unemployed if they have time to do this shit. Like,
Very
imagine
unemployed.
what kind of person actually has time
Incredibly
to go out
unemployed.
there and just set cars on fire and stay in these riots all day?
And like clockwork, the looting has begun.
Peaceful looting, and this was so important to happen.
This is not looting, ladies and gentlemen. This is the co-opting and the donation of goods to support the rebellion. That's what this is. This is just the rebels taking part in an equal exchange of goods with the local populace. That's all this is. This is food. These snacks, those Funyuns right there, that's going to feed 3 skinny rebels to help fight the evil Republic of Trump.
To show support to their cause. They needed to rob the 7-Eleven. Yeah, you guys don't get it, man. If they didn't rob this store,
I think that's an AM PM, actually.
then ICE would have kept on taking their family away, man. It's peaceful looting.
And this guy just goes and he's like, yeah, I'm just going to pick up a beer. I'm that
as
guy.
this small business owner's store has been destroyed.
Yeah, this is about immigration, guys. Let me just rob this store, bro.
Yep.
No, America.
Because it's symbolic.
Yeah, what is that, Heineken? Homie's taking an entire case of Heineken.
What
Nice.
America is doing
Nice.
to us
That'll definitely
it's
hydrate the
robbing us
rebels.
of
That'll
good
definitely
citizens.
hydrate
So
the
I need to show the
the rioters.
symbolism by
Oh, excuse me,
robbing the
peaceful
store. Yep,
protesters.
that's what we need to do, guys.
America's a psyop, bro.
You don't get it. We're fighting capitalism, guys.
Oh, this can't be real. We used to have to watch like Game of Thrones for entertainment. Now we can just watch a live feed of California. That's how much of a clown show it is. Anyways, Asmongold also reacted to the mayor responding to the situation, just downplaying everything.
Well, I just have to say that if you dial back time and go to Friday, if
Tectone, move your big fucking head.
immigration raids had not happened here, we would not have the disorder that went on last night. I will tell you.
What a great concept. We're not going to riot if you just don't enforce the law. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's not a riot. Without laws, it wouldn't be a riot. It would just be people doing stuff. So she's technically right. If there was no law against rioting, it wouldn't exist.
We're going to riot and destroy things if you make us follow the law.
Yeah, great.
That's that same kind of principle. If anyone's watched Incredibles, when everybody's a super, nobody is. That's basically the logic she's fucking operating off of. She must just got done watching that cartoon right before this meeting.
Basically, you have to let them commit crimes, you know? Let them commit their crimes in peace. Peaceful protest, by the way. Why are you arresting me? I'm just your local Hasan fan. Hasan told me to do this. I watch the stream every day. No, I don't have maggots in my brain. Why you ask?
There was a protest that got a little unruly late at night. It was 100.
A little unruly late
A
at
little
night.
bit.
Jesus Christ.
Bro, they were
A
lighting
little fucking unruly. A little unruly.
cars on fire.
Anyone who doesn't know, the definition of little is small to significant amount. I don't think millions of dollars is a small and insignificant amount.
This shit was a PvP server.
Yep.
What are you talking about?
Mostly peaceful, actually. As a wise man once said, these rioters were genuine in their actions, but a little bit brain broken.
You know, and speaking of now, there are also, about 500 active duty U.S. Marines over at Camp Pendleton, not too far away.
Dude, I cannot wait to see the videos. I don't think they know what's coming for them, dude. These Marines in Camp Pendleton are so bored day in, day out. All they do is train. I promise you, fucking Jethro from fucking Tennessee has been sitting in Camp Pendleton waiting, yearning to do something. He joined to fight terrorism. I promise you, as soon as that 6'4", corn-fed, 250-pound Marine lands, they're going to hand him a little pepper ball gun. He's like, no. He's going to rip a fucking cinder block or a fucking piece of wood off the wall. He's like, this is all I need. I can't wait to see this video of this human Hulk beating the dog shit out of protesters. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but I'm saying I'm going to fucking laugh at it when it happens.
Reading possible orders to mobilize. Governor Newsom has said.
For what? What do you mean for what? To keep these people from burning down your city. You need to understand that the goal of these protests is to terrorize people.
This is an interesting formation. You see this right here where the cops are boxing these people in. This is not a this is pretty cool. What they do is they make this box around him and they leave him one path to exit. And if these people, then most of them will. Most of the people will exit. But the ones that don't, the real criminals, the ones who are staying there trying to fight, the next thing they know, that exit gets closed off and then they arrest them. It's actually a very interesting day to see the cops being able to do this in real time.
And to make them afraid of speaking out and pushing back against it. This entire premise that this is about free speech, it's absolutely not. And if it were up to them, you wouldn't be able to say anything. Don't fall for this bullshit.
Yep, that is spot on. Basically, the reason for all of this is to intimidate and silence people. This is the classic Hasan 101 playbook. Harass and bully people until they are silent, and your opinion is the only opinion. But unfortunately, that's obviously not going to work this time around. You aren't in the majority. You're going to get cooked. Luckily, people have come to their senses. Well, you know, most people, not the psychos in LA or the Hasan fans, obviously.
I want to share the CBS poll.
Guys, we all warned Twitch that this was going to happen.
Oh yeah, that doesn't matter. They're not. Twitch doesn't care about what actually happens in real life. Twitch cares about getting people into the streams. It only cares about making money for their advertisers, especially since, thanks to a certain group of people, advertising went down 70% in profit this last month. I wonder who that was, who fucked that up for everybody. But yeah, especially now, they got to get a numbers game for them. They're just trying to get people through the algorithm. They don't care what message is being said. The more shocking, the better, because they get the more people watching.
Put a stop to it. It was going to get worse. Well, here we are, Twitch. The consequences of your own actions is here once again. And how great is it when the live news covers popular gamer Hasanabi was streaming the LA riots on Twitch.
Anyway, I have to go. make sure you give these guys a follow. Make sure you get Morzeus, Tectone, Osmond Gold, DK Voice, anybody whose video I've watched, make sure you give them credit they deserve, because at the end of the day, all I did was react to it. I appreciate you guys watching my stream. I appreciate your input. Havoc, you're a good one. I love talking to you. Goblin, thank you for showing up. And I'll be on in a couple hours. I just got to go to a dental appointment, all right? Y'all have a good one. Be safe, and don't fight the police. Just learn your rights, know your rights, and be safe out there, and treat people like human beings, okay? You guys are all awesome. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.